What brings us today is something very serious, because we have been witnessing for the past weeks the best of our children, those children of us that are admitted in the best universities of this land, the best minds that had been praised in the past for protesting to stop the war in Vietnam. As a matter of fact, protests that were joined back then by our today president, Joe Biden, to stop our non-just war, to stop the commission of war crimes, to stop the injustices to the people of Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. Back then was a good thing to do. What happened now? Have our values as a nation changed? That back then, our president held that at the highest moral values of our nation and joined them in that protest. And now, when our students, our best minds, our future, are peacefully gathering to exercise their constitutional rights to freely assemble and freedom of speech. This is what this press conference is about. It's about the freedom of speech of all Americans. It's not about the freedom of speech of our students. It's of all Americans. Nonviolent students protesting against the killing of 60% of the people dead in the war in Gaza. Think of this, 66% of the 35,000 people killed are children and women. 15,000 children is not an enough figure to revolve our guts, that any armed forces of any nation of the world who for whatever reason kills 15,000 children, and it's not my opinion or the opinion of the students, that the state of Israel is facing the International Criminal Court of Justice for things like this. So what are our peacefully gathering students claiming? That their academic institutions take a moral stand and do not give monies to kill 15,000 children, and do not give monies to kill almost 10,000 women, not to give monies to kill many other thousands of elders, killed in the worst circumstances by a famine that is a man-made provoked famine. The obstruction of foods and water and medicine to the civilian population, by definition, is a war crime. So our students are asking their academic institutions to stop funding war crimes. And they're being met by a repression that we have not seen anywhere in recent history. Because each institution alleges that they're allowing the free speech. They allow the free speech, but in one institution, you cannot give the speech your valedictorian speech. So we validate your free speech, but you cannot do the valedictorian speech. We validate your free speech, but you cannot use a loudspeaker. We validate your free speech, but you cannot stay overnight in campus. We value your free speech, but you cannot gather and stay in a tent. We value your free speech, but you cannot carry an umbrella because that's a weapon. So that reinvention of our free speech is what this press conference is about. And we're going to stand ill, and that's the conditions we're going to expect, not only in the universities, in our society, for our government to impose of us in our constitutionally guaranteed free speech. Are we okay with that? So this is what this press conference is about.